September 18th, 1952, Frankie. Guess who came while you were away on vacation? Sam Pepys. Please thank whoever mailed him for me. He came a week ago. Stepped out of 4 pages of some tabloid. 3 honest navy blue volumes of him. I read the tabloid over lunch and started Sam after dinner. He says to tell you he's overjoyed to be here. He was previously owned by a swab who never even bothered to cut the pages. I'm wrecking them. It's the thinnest India paper I ever saw. We call it onion skin over here, and it's a good name for it. But heavier paper would have taken up 6 or 7 volumes, so I'm grateful for the India. I have only 3 bookshelves and very few books left to throw out. I house clean my books every spring and throw out those I'm never going to read again, like I throw out clothes I'm never going to wear again. It shocks everybody. My friends are peculiar about books. They read all the bestsellers, they get through them as fast as possible. I think they skip a lot. And they never read anything a second time, so they don't remember a word of it a year later. But they are profoundly shocked to see me drop a book in the wastebasket or give it away. The way they look at it, you buy a book, you read it, you put it on the shelf, you never open it again for the rest of your life, but you don't throw it out, not if it has a hardcover on it. Why not? I personally can't think of anything less sacrosanct than a bad book or even a mediocre book. Trust you and Nora had a fine holiday. Mine was spent in Central Park. I had a month's vacation from Joey, my dear little dentist. He went on his honeymoon. I financed the honeymoon. Did I tell you he told me last spring I have to have all my teeth capped or all my teeth out? I decided to have them capped as I have got used to having teeth. But the cost is simply astronomical. So Elizabeth will have to ascend the throne without me. Teeth are all I'm going to see crowned for the next couple of years. I do not intend to stop buying books, however. You got to have something. Will you see if you can find me Shaw's dramatic criticism, please, and also his music criticism? I think there are several volumes. Just send whatever you can find. Now listen, Frankie, it's going to be a long, cold winter, and I babysit in the evenings, and I need reading matter. Now don't start sitting around. Go find me some books. H.H. December 12th, 1952. To her friends at 84 Charing Cross Road. The Book Lovers Anthology steps out of its wrappings, all golden bossed leather and gold-tipped pages, easily the most beautiful book I own, including the Newman First Edition. It looks too new and pristine ever to have been read by anyone else, but it has been. It keeps falling open at the most delightful places, as the ghost of its former owner points me to things I've never read before, like Tristram Shandy's description of his father's remarkable library, which contained every book and treatise which had ever been wrote upon the subject of great noses. Frank, go find me Tristram Shandy. Helene.
May 3rd, 1953.
Frankie, you'll die when I tell you. First, enclosed fine, $3. P&P arrived looking exactly as Jane ought to look. Soft leather, slim, and impeccable. Now then, Ellery went off the air, and I was shuffling around piling up dentist bills and feeling pale when I was invited to write an outline for a TV show which dramatizes incidents from the lives of famous people. So I rushed home and did an outline of an incident from the life of a famous person and sent it in. And they bought it, and I wrote the script, and they liked it, and they're going to give me more work in the fall. And what do you think I dramatized? John Donne eloping with a boss's daughter out of Walton's Lives. Nobody who watches television has the slightest idea who John Donne was. But thanks to Hemingway, everybody knows no man is an island. All I had to do was work that in, and it was sold. So that's how John Donne made the Hallmark Hall of Fame and paid for all the books you ever sent me and 5 teeth. I plan to crawl out of bed before dawn on Coronation Day to attend the ceremony by radio. We'll be thinking of you all. Cheers. H.H.
11th June, 1953. Dear Helene, it was most kind of you to spend your hard-earned money on the likes of us, and the rest of the staff join me in saying thanks a lot. With very best wishes, yours sincerely, Frank Donne.
September 2nd, 1955. Do you mean to sit there and tell me you've been publishing these mammoth catalogs all these years, and this is the first time you ever bothered to send me one? Thou varlet? Don't remember which Restoration playwright called everybody a varlet. I always wanted to use it in a sentence. I shall be obliged if you will send Nora and the girls to church every Sunday for the next month to pray for the continued health and strength of the Misters Gilliam, Reese, Snyder, Campanella, Robinson, Hodges, Farillo, Padres, Newcomb, and Levine, collectively known as the Brooklyn Dodgers. If they lose this World Series, I shall do myself in, and then where will you be? Have you got to Tocqueville's Journey to America? Somebody borrowed mine and never gave it back. Why is it that people who wouldn't dream of stealing anything else think it's perfectly all right to steal books? You see how it is, Frankie? You're the only soul alive who understands me. H.H.
13th December 1955. Dear Helene, I feel very guilty about not writing to you before this, but you can put it down to a dose of the flu, which kept me away from the shop for a couple of weeks, and a sudden rush of work since I came back. We have no edition of De Tocqueville, but we'll keep looking for one for you. I shall be only too pleased to root for the Brooklyn Dodgers if you will reciprocate with a few cheers for the Spurs, the Tottenham Hotspurs football club to the uninitiated, who are at present languishing next to the bottom of the league. However, the season does not finish until next April, so they have plenty of time to get themselves out of the mess. Nora and all here join me in sending our best wishes for Christmas and the New Year. Sincerely, Frank Donne. 16th March 1956. Dear Helene, we have finally managed to find a nice edition of Tristram Shandy with the Robb illustrations, priced approximately $2.75. We have also acquired a copy of Plato's Four Socratic Dialogues translated by Benjamin Jowett, Oxford, 1903. We are waiting to hear whether you are finally coming to England this summer. Both the girls are away at school, so you will have your choice of beds at 37 Oakfield Court. I am sorry to say that Mrs. Bolton, who made your lovely linen, has been taken to a home. It was rather a sad day, but at least she would be looked after. Sincerely, Frank Dole.
June 1st, 1956. Dear Frank, the sky fell on us in this cozy brownstone. We got eviction notices last month. They're renovating the building. I decided the time had come to get me a real apartment with real furniture, and in my right mind and shaking all over, I went around to the construction site of a new building going up over on 2nd Avenue and signed a lease on a 2.5 bed-sitter apartment that isn't even there yet. I am now racing around buying furniture and bookshelves and wall-to-wall carpet with all my England money. But all my life I've been stuck in dilapidated furnished rooms and cockroachy kitchens, and I want to live like a lady, even if it means putting off England till it's paid for. Meanwhile, the landlord thinks we're not moving out fast enough, and is encouraging us by ripping out the mailboxes, the hall light fixtures, and as of this week, the wall between my kitchen and bathroom. All this, and the Dodgers disintegrating before my very eyes. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Oh, the new address? After September 1st, 305 East 72nd Street, New York, New York, 21.
3rd of May, 1957. Dear Helene, prepare yourself for a shock. All 3 of the books you requested in your last letter are on their way to you and should arrive in a week or so. Don't ask how we manage it, it's just part of the Marx service. We seem to have had more American visitors than ever this year, including hundreds of lawyers who march around with a large card pinned to their clothes stating their hometown and name. They all seem to be enjoying their trip, so you will have to manage it next year. With best wishes from all of us, Frank.